Congo with 4 bonus in the fire phase from the general made the big difference there. Yeah, fire is now king. As we are in the era of Cohorn mortars. Yeah, we're absolutely in the fire phase now. And have been for a while, ever since Chambered Demi-Cannon. Yeah, fire is definitely king. Okay, so over here we do have the Brazilians and the Andalusians continuing to push forwards. Wait, those are Inca. I was thinking that those were Brazil for a minute there. So we have a couple of forces trying to take the fort up here in the north. This is a jungle fort again, which it doesn't look like these guys are particularly interested in contesting. They're rather sitting on the City of Gold, which is a 10 development gold province, so that's probably going to be the source of a lot of their funding. In fact, if we take a look at Inca, they are still making positive money. Their gold income is down to 14. They have 4 gold provinces still. They've lost all 4 of these. 5 gold. Yeah, they've lost 5 gold provinces so far. Ouch! And it looks like Brazil is just going to sneak this. Because neither Texas nor Inca seem particularly interested. This is a jungle province. This is a -1 combat. I mean, City of Gold is going to be more important, but that's a fort which is untouched. It'll take them a while to besiege this. Who's subsidizing the Inca? That's a good question. Subsidies currently being received from Texas. And Brazil aren't getting any. They're losing a little bit of money, but nothing particularly bad. However, they do have an incoming disaster. Court and country. Okay, that's actually a good one for them. Although fighting rebels, while they're rather busy with an offensive war, is not going to be very good. Andalusia, meanwhile, not getting any subsidies either and making an absolute bucket load of cash from good trade, good production, and also all of the gold that they've been stealing from Inca. Oh no, that's going to be going to Brazil. No, Andalusia just has a lot of gold provinces, which they have been upgrading rather heavily. Yeah, that would be why. Andalusia does not need subsidies. No, they do not. Meanwhile, what is Britain doing? This is... Okay, so we have a couple of Andalusian forces moving up here. This is where I'd like to see Britain active right now. Is Britain even in this war? Britain is in the war. Alright, Britain's on Inca and Texas side. So Britain should be doing naval invasions of Brazil. There's a small army back here, but if you distract them enough, then you could do some damage. Or, better yet, Britain do some invasions of Iberia and Andalusia, because the majority of Andalusia's forces are over here right now. And as long as you control the crossing, Andalusia is not going to be able to get any troops back. The problem that Britain will be having, of course, is supply range. So if we go to Britain's perspective... Oh, nope, that's not a problem. Britain can quite happily, because they control an island down here, blockade the entire coast of Andalusia. Just completely stop, 1, trade, 2, drive up war exhaustion, and 3, stop them reinforcing, and then they can just do marine landings. Like, Britain could be doing a ton of damage right now. Britain might be helping Inca just as much as Inca helped them in the USA. That's true. Okay, so they have a couple of troops coming down, but Britain not needed here. This is enough. Like, with Inca and Texas, you have enough. Britain's strength is their mobility. Britain's strength is their navy, and they're just not using that. "94 light ships over here. Are they pirating or something? Because that would be a good way of reducing some of their strength. And in fact, because players do have access to the ledger, they will know that Andalusia is earning a lot of money from trade. So then Britain should be taking a look to see, okay, where are they collecting this trade? Because again, this is information that they have access to. And they can see that there's a lot of money being collected in Safi right now. Safi has a huge monopoly, which means that privateers are going to be exceptionally effective against Safi. British light ships could be destroying about 100 ducats of income and making a pretty penny for themselves in the process. Not to mention blockades with the heavies. Admittedly, light ships are better at blockading, but still. That's going to be an interesting change with the upcoming update is that it takes less ships to blockade now. So heavies are actually going to be effective at blockading, as opposed to just being light ships, really, because it's based on movement speed. The faster you move, the more effective you are at blockading, which is actually why transports are surprisingly effective at blockades. If you're not using a transport fleet to ship troops around, and you have naval superiority, might as well use them to blockade. Right, not much going on over there. We do have the Congo all the way back up to you. And it does look like the forts here are going to get complete. Yeah, they might actually complete them. In which case, the choke point here is going to be rather better defended. I'm still a little bit concerned by how few forts in general Congo has. They are currently losing money. Mostly because of the army maintenance. Yeah, they have significantly over their force limit, for which they're paying 47 ducats. And also mercenaries, which they're paying 37 more. They have no loans, though. Tunis, in the meantime, is making money and is earning subsidies from the Papal States. The Papal States are what keeping Tunis in this war. The Congo army down here has been defeated, but they did manage to take 2 forts in the process. A mountain fort and a highland fort. So if Congo wanted, especially once they've retaken you, they could turn this into an offensive war. At which point Tunis is fighting over their own territories and Tunis is starting to take damage. But then again, Congo has been winning this because they've been fighting it defensively. So it's a risk. Oh, fight, fight, fight. I saw it in time. 200,000 against 200,000. This is a mountain battle. They are taking a -2. 127% discipline. We do actually have some Hindustan forces here now, I think. I think that's Hindustan. Yep. 7.1 morale versus 6.5, although that is just going to be the Hindustan's forces who get the morale and discipline. 150,000 infantry against 130,000, 52 artillery against 60,000. It does look like the Andalusian side is taking 3,000 damage per tick because this is a defensive battle in the mountains, and it does look like they're just not going to have the morale to do anything here. And Inca retreat. Inca retreat before the battle's over. Why? You were winning. I think Inca may have misclicked there, and then Texas were like, nope, and then backed out as well. That was a surprise. I was not expecting them to retreat there. So these Hindustan forces, this is not a Hindustan intervention, is it? No. Who are the great powers involved? Andalusia is a great power. Texas is a great power. Britain's a great power. So it's Britain and Texas on one side versus Andalusia on the other. So another great power could join on Brazil's side if they wanted to. And then, yeah, Hindustan must have condottieri over here. I just wonder how many. There they are. Right, Hindustan's on Brazil's side, not the other side. Enlightenment spawned in London. Interesting. So let's go take a look at that and see if anywhere else is going to be getting Enlightenment. I mean, I'm expecting Enlightenment to spread really quickly because the players should have been building universities. Papal States have definitely been building universities. Prussia has a few. Britain actually has relatively few. So despite being the birthplace, most of their spread is actually just from controlling the birthplace of the Enlightenment. So how on earth did they get it if they have so few universities? Because they don't have any. Oh, Parliament. That's probably how they got it. They must be one of the few of the Parliament. I'm guessing they have a Parliament. No, they're a pirate. They can't have a Parliament. How the hell did Britain get that? I'm confuzzled. Unfortunately, I don't think I can check the requirements for spawning enlightenment anymore. This just shows how it spreads. Luck. Luck has nothing to do with it. So yeah, Russia has a lot of... Damn it. Russia has a lot of universities. Papal states have loads. I would actually have expected this to be in the Papal states. Hindustan has got loads. Iran's got a ton. Japan's got a fair number. Texas has got a few. America's got a few. Yeah, of all of the countries who have basically none, Britain would be up there. So how the hell did this go in Britain? They have neither parliaments nor universities. How many does Russia have? Russia has loads. I would say this is actually between Papal States and Russia. I would say the Papal States probably have more. Or Hindustan. Or Iran. Any of those countries could have done it. So Papal States, Russia, Hindustan, Iran. Prussia has a fair number. How the hell did Britain get that? I don't understand. This makes no sense. I'm going to look that up. Like, what the hell do you need to spawn institution? EU4. Spawn enlightenment. Enlightenment can appear in 1700 in province that is the owner's capital area is not an island, part of a state. Both printing press and global trade institutions are present, has at least 30 in development, and has one of the following: a seat in parliament or university. Is in Europe. Is in Europe and its owner's ruler has at least 5 in every skill. So I'm guessing it's related to the fact that Britain just has a really good ruler. Oh, battle. We'll take a look after the fight. So Andalusia is marching in. I have a feeling that the Incas are going to actually react to this one more quickly, because these guys are quite far back. They are force marching, but then so are the Incan forces. And here we go. 100,000 in the first tick on both sides. -2 for Brazil. 118 discipline against 114. 7.1 morale versus 6.4. So Brazil's forces have actually improved a fair amount. This is primarily against... Oh no, those are Texas. Okay. So this is fairly mixed on both sides. 1,000 tick versus 100. An 8 versus a 3. A 5-4 general versus a 6-4. So at this point, Inca's general is better. And the Brazilian side is taking more damage. Not surprisingly, because they are taking the penalty. We do have another 40,000 Texans marching in. Another 30,000 Brazilians marching in. Right now, Texas side do outnumber, but they are losing the morale fight. There are no other forces here able to support. And it does actually look like Brazil might be able to manage this just because they are running out of morale very quickly. They don't have many reinforcements. This 46,000 could be enough to turn the tide. Oh, we have another pause. Yeah, I was looking at the wiki. 220 versus 192,000. Can Inca hold? They're suffering 2,000 plus casualties each. Ooh, that was a really good tick for the Brazilians, actually. Texas took a ton of damage there. And I think that Brazil is going to edge this one. It's close, but yeah, these guys have artillery in the front line already. They should start retreating right now. There's no reason to be taking this kind of damage that you'll be taking with artillery in the front. And they will take a lot. Although they also do a lot. Nope, they seem pretty happy to just fight until the end. And there we go, Brazil won that fight. So now this war has cost the lives of 800,000 troops in combat alone. And another 200,000. So this is a 1 million war. 1 million men have died in this war. So let's go and take a look at the health of either side. So right now, Inca still have 33,000 manpower. They are running a little bit low on money, but I'm pretty sure that they can find the money if they need to. Brazil is starting to suffer a little bit in terms of the war exhaustion. This is why navies can be so important, because it drives up war exhaustion. And even with just 1.7% war exhaustion, Brazil's already having these rebel problems. If Britain was blockading Brazil, they could be taking a lot more than that because blockades do a lot of damage to war exhaustion. In fact, is Britain doing anything? Nope. Britain is doing nothing. Brazil has no manpower. They're completely tapped. Andalusia has 46,000 manpower still and is actually having a golden age. I just noticed that. Texas actually has 24,000 manpower. So Texas has been recovering manpower. They're completely tapped for professionalism. Inca are not. Inca still have a fair amount of professionalism. Brazil are completely tapped for professionalism. Andalusia still have a lot of professionalism. So relatively equal in terms of numbers. I would say that the Incan side are doing slightly better for that, just because Brazil are completely tapped. So Brazil are going to be using mercenaries. Also, Brazil are suffering internal issues. Oh, this is Court and Country, isn't it? Yeah, Court and Country has now fired and will be causing them problems. Hardline centralization attempts, +2 national unrest. Obscurantism, +2 unrest. So this isn't a war exhaustion problem, this is a Court and Country problem. You know what's garbage? The age bonus for Austria in the Age of Revolutions. Oh yeah. Oh, this is Age of Absolutism. We're not there yet. +5 Diplo reputation, not relation to reputation. Reputation is really strong for Austria. It allows them to Diplo annex like that. I think that's the intention. In Age of Revolutions, Austria starts to consolidate all of their vassals. Like up until that point, they should be vassal swarming. And in single player, it's very good for alliances. It means that Austria can get alliances very easily. So Britain has a few troops up here in Texas, but doesn't seem particularly interested in moving south. Inca seem to be fighting back a little bit. The Andalusian backdoor has ended. Meanwhile, over here, we have a stalemate. Some of Congo's troops are currently blocked. Oh, we have another war. Japan has declared war on Brazil and Andalusia and the United States. So Japan has apparently broken their agreements with Brazil and is going after the Moluccas. I don't know if this is a proper war. It might be. Brazil's navy, meanwhile, is currently sitting here in the Moluccas. Bearing in mind that Brazil was busy selling off all of their colonial holdings out here in Indonesia. Meanwhile, what happened in the Austria-Shan War? Don't know. Austria is currently at war with Congo. The Austrian-Congolese imperialist war. Austria, the warmonger. Crikey, causing so many problems, Austria. Clearly, the spirit of Bellaton has taken over. First of all, fighting Shan, trying to take Sidon from them. I saw what you were trying to do. And now going after poor old Congo. What on earth has Congo ever done for them? So Congo is going to be glad that they've been building up so many forts in their coastline. It's just such a backdoor right here. Just take here, take Europeans and you're in. Nothing's blocking that. Like they really need to put a fort in Ndongo. If they have a fort in Ndongo, I'd be feeling a lot more comfortable about all of this being unprotected. I still wouldn't be that comfortable about it, but I'd be more comfortable. Protecting the north quite nicely now. We've got 4 forts here. Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. But still open. Still completely open. Meanwhile, the war against the Inca. They are about to take that fort. Andalusia have actually pushed forwards and taken the city of Gold. Where's their capital? Because Inca's capital is enormous.